Byrne in Cairo, thanks very much.
US President Barack Obama has warned of hard days ahead at the NATO summit in Chicago, which has been dominated by the issue of withdrawal from Afghanistan.
France says it's going to pull its troops out of Afghanistan almost 2 years early. Other NATO leaders have promised that their forces will stay there until the end of 2014, as planned.
David Cameron has called for the Greek people to use their next round of elections as a referendum on whether or not they want to remain in the euro. The Prime Minister...
News from the world of books this morning. The UK's biggest bookshop chain is to start very much.
A rare ring of fire solar eclipse, not just your ordinary solar eclipse, but a ring of fire, has appeared in the skies over Tokyo, and this is the first time it's happened. There we go, great pictures of that this morning. 12 minutes past 8.
Stars from the world of entertainment have been paying tribute overnight to Robin Gibb, who's died from cancer.
Music journalist and broadcaster Paul Gambaccini was a good friend, but a sad morning, of course, for his friends and his family, and, of course, for music fans all over the world. Extraordinary that they did it as this close-knit family, the brothers. Well, the Bee Gees without, as you say, talking about Saturday Night Fever. But do you think there is a record or a piece of music that Robin Gibb would most like us to be talking about this morning? And thanks so much for joining us at the age of 62.
16 minutes past 8. Carol has the weather. We've set it to Chelsea because they've got a flower show or something going on there. Morning.
It's extraordinary, Carol. Thank you very much. 6 years ago, Martin Spinelli kissed his wife Sasha and 4-year-old son Leo goodbye at a train station. Just a few hours later, though, his life changed forever.
Sasha was killed when a lorry ploughed into her car on the motorway. Leo spent 2 weeks in a coma with life-threatening injuries.
Well, against the odds, Leo made a miraculous recovery, and that has inspired Martin to write a book about his experience, and he joins us. Absolutely terrific to meet you, Leo, because I'm going to ask your dad first. After that accident, you were given some pretty terrible news, weren't you?
I was very positive for you, was it? Can you remember what your injuries were?
On my leg and on my head.
Yeah, there was some talk about amputation was mentioned once, and other options were fusing.
Driver of an articulated lorry smashed into the car because it appears he had been driving for 17, 18 hours with no brake.
Yes, he had been driving for 3 days prior to the accident.
Is out there waiting to happen again, though, in terms of are the right checks being made on drivers in that situation?
Absolutely not.
Or a fantastic photograph there of you and your mum when you were climbing. Is climbing something you still like to do?
Yeah.
And when you, as you say, your leg was squished, that you are able to...
Thank you so much, Martin.
Amazing to see you. Leo.
And the book telling Martin Leo's story after the crash is out on Thursday.
Now, you might think that the drought conditions and hosepipe bans affecting large parts of England would have posed a threat to this year's Chelsea Flower Show.
But instead, the exhibitors have responded to the weather conditions by getting more creative with the way they use water. Jenny Hill has been finding out all about it. She's there. Thanks very much. I'm getting the gloves on.
I'm a bit alarmed.
Yeah.
You're like a Bond villain, Bill.
Nah, there's a clue. But we won't tell you till later. Time now to get news, travel and weather where you are.
I'm scared.
Good morning, this is Breakfast with Susanna Reid and Bill Turnbull.
The United States says the death of Abdel Basit al-Megrahi, the Libyan man convicted of the Lockerbie bombing, won't bring to an end the search for justice for the victims' families.
President Barack Obama has warned of hard days ahead at the NATO summit in Chicago, which has been dominated by the issue of withdrawal from Afghanistan. France says it'll...
David Cameron has called for the Greek people to use their next round of elections as a referendum on whether or not they want to remain in the euro.
Main stories, here's what's coming up later. We're going to bring you a world TV chafes his hide, did he say?
Chafes his hide.
That's a new one on me. A man with the golden...
Who's going to be Bond girl, Sally? Both of us. A world exclusive this morning. Here it is. Well, here's one of them. The other is the very first airing of the trailer for the new James Bond movie, Skyfall. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, the release of Skyfall coincides with the 50th anniversary of the first of the Bond films. It's amazing.
So we're joined now by Michael G.
Me under the desk, I think.
Yeah. What happens if I click my heels together? James, you don't own any Bond memorabilia, do you?
I'll tell you what I used to have, and I wish I'd kept it, because these are worth...
Skyfall is out in cinemas, actually, on the 26th of October, and all 22 Bond films, 22 Bond films, will be available on Blu-ray in one collection for the first time as well in September.
The Bond exhibition at the Barbican in London opens in July, and if you go to the BBC website, we've been behind the scenes of Skyfall, and you can see the film trailer over and over and over while you wait.
That collection 22 doesn't presumably... So 23 Bond films, that's the one that doesn't count. All right, thanks very much.
Carol's got the weather for us. She's at the Chelsea Flower Show this morning. Morning, Carol.
It turned out to be okay.
Kind of scary, actually, aren't they?
You know, I think Barry Sonnenfeld, he didn't do all of the things coming at you. He set, and it creates a whole other...
If you suffer from vertigo.
Yeah, it's...
You're at the top of the Chrysler building, looking down.
That's a very intelligent. You know, and when I think about it in those terms.
You hope so.
Yeah, I hope to
The planets, there might be other life. I mean, really.
Any assertion is just as absurd as the other.
So it'd be ridiculous to say there aren't.
Right, be ridiculous.
Especially as you've worked with so many of them.
Yes, you know, I mean, I've worked with people that are...
Aliens go out in disguise. And sometimes
absolutely.
when you rip off their disguises, you're surprised.
Rick Baker,
Oscar-winning...
he's an Oscar Academy Award-winning designer of the aliens and everything in Men in Black. And you'll fit right in and people will never know. I hope it's not a monster face, because that might draw...
Everyone I've spoken to, and I've been waiting to do this interview, everyone says, you know what, Will Smith is in such a good mood and he's always happy.
Be mean. I want people to see me as mean. My...
Bugbear.
My bugbear?
Yeah.
What?
Try that.
Well, see, that's usually me.
Oh.
Right, so,
Was that you on my trip talking really loudly?
I'm sorry. You know, I mean, for me...
Rumour circulating that there might one day be a Barack Obama victory movie. Be another victory?
There definitely has to be another to bring into fruition.
You think he's been a good thing for America?
Oh, absolutely.
It's lovely to see you.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Can you just do that line from Susanna Reid?
I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Oh, Susanna.
A ray of sunshine in everyone's lives.
Thank you so
amazing.
much.
He did not slap you away.
That's
did he?
because I went.
No.
I went for the cheek.
Yes.
The key is to go for the cheek.
Well, the key is also, yes, various other factors possible. The film Men in Black 3 opens in cinemas this Thursday.
Now, I have a nominee for the person to do the next Bond soundtrack.
Yes.
And she's our next guest. And not that long ago, Paloma Faith worked as a burlesque dancer, a life model, and even a magician's assistant. Then her debut album went platinum. She was nominated for a Brit Award. She has even spent the weekend with Prince.
Yes, we'll talk about it. And the follow-up album to her marvellous debut. First, here's a look at Paloma's new single. It's called Picking Up the Pieces.
Best club.
What?
Well, just a club where I didn't... What do you think I
You
did
see,
there? Walk
this
around
is-
naked?
Well, didn't you walk around in your underwear?
No.
You see, there's so
Have you
much.
not ever been to that particular shop that I worked
No,
in?
I've
that we
walked past it like that.
Oh no, you haven't
There
been
aren't
there.
girls.
And so people might think that that was a possibility that you wanted.
You've written all the songs on the album.
Yes.
And they're about, what, your personal experiences as such? Or
Well,
and all sorts.
The recipe for the lemon drizzle cake. It's
Paloma,
great
thanks
to
very
see
much.
you,
Thank you.
and I'm sure she'd want us to tell you that the single Picking Up the Pieces is out now, and the album Fall to Grace follows on May the 28th.
Now, in a moment, we're going to be joined by 3 of this weekend's evictees from The Voice. Paloma sang on the show last night. In a moment. First, though, here's the last quick look at what's happening where you are.
See you in a moment. Another weekend has gone, and that means another 4 contestants have had to leave TV talent show The Voice.
This week it was down to Jessie J and Danny O'Donoghue to decide which of their acts would make it into the semi-final and which would be sent packing.
In a moment, we're going to be speaking to 3 performances from Saturday night's live show.
Yeah, you're careful.
Right, move up, everybody, and make some space.
There you are.
So selfish.
Well, shall we start with you, Alex? Because I don't think I've seen anyone look more annoyed to have been kind of...
Or miserable.
Yeah.
Sad.
Oh no, I wasn't.
You
I
weren't
wasn't
annoyed?
annoyed. No, of course not.
Oh.
No,
You had a fair old face on though.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, it might have come across like that. You know, it's television, isn't it? But you know, I really wanted.
Well, actually,
to,
we've got a sort of Peter, Paul and Mary thing going on here. The 3 of you could form a trio.
People, I was thinking more of Simon and Garfunkel thing, you know.
Oh, but then what happens to Tony after?
She's got her own album.
Yeah,
she's
already
fine.
collaborated.
She's collaborating.
I'm doing fine. We have to sort of work.
Anyway, wish you all the very best and thanks so much for coming in. Commiserations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. Great watch.
You could see the next episode of The Voice on Saturday on BBC One at 6:30.
That is all from us for this morning.
Yeah.
We're back tomorrow from 6, and we're going to leave you now with a last look at one of the spectacular displays at the beautiful Chelsea Flower Show. Thanks
See
for
you
your company today. See you tomorrow.